In today's video, I'm taking you on a journey through the evolution of my green wall, from its humble beginnings to the green beautiful space it is today. We're gonna flip through some old photos to see how it all started, and I'm gonna introduce you to the 20-something plants that I have in this space. Of course, I'm gonna give you some great plant care advice, and I'm gonna talk a little about how I style this space, taking into account the light conditions and some basic design principles. So let's get into it. Hi plant lovers, welcome back to my green leafy space. If you're new here, my name is Alina. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited about today's video. I was going through some old photos of this space and realized how much it has changed in the last almost 4 years that we've moved to this apartment. It had so many different moods, from different plants to different seasons. So in the winter time there's almost no direct sunlight in here, but when the spring comes it just really warms my heart to see the sun come back inside. For today the sun is almost gone from this beautiful space, but this is how it looked about 2 hours ago. I usually can't start filming so early because I take my son to the preschool, which is like really the most beautiful start of my days usually, just to spend the morning with him and hold his hand on the way to the preschool. By the way, my neighbor is still on his renovation journey. It has been a few months now, so I really hope that it's not gonna bother us, but if so, I'm really sorry about that. Just bear with me. Okay, so let's talk a little about this beautiful space. So it all started about almost 4 years ago when we moved into this apartment. I didn't have as much plants as I have today, but I believe I did have about 100 plants when I moved here. I'm not sure, but there were a lot of plants when we moved here. And I instantly started looking for some spaces that have the best light conditions. And this one was one of the best spaces to fill it out with plants because it has this huge window. It's an east-facing window, so the light conditions here are pretty great for most houseplants. So the space started out with a basic IKEA stand, which, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy IKEA's products, but that one was pretty basic and pretty boring, at least how I styled it. By that point, I already had some experience with building wooden furniture, so I decided to build what I envisioned in my head. So I have built this beautiful TV stand and the beautiful plant shelfies that I have over there. And by that time it was my biggest ever project of building wooden furniture, and I really love the result. And the wooden plant shelfies are kind of my signature shelfies that I have designed specially for plants. Because I don't really want them to tip over, so I have that beautiful bar there to keep them in their space. So first I have built like the skeleton of this beautiful TV stand, and then with time I've added the doors, and that's how it looks today. I really love the design. I really love that it's all natural materials, and it's definitely my happy space. Now let's talk a little about the plants that I have in this space. Some plants have been here for basically from the beginning of this green wall. The Monstera has been here from the beginning, but she was much smaller. I think the Pothos has been here from the beginning, and I think all the other plants kind of have shipped with time. Some of them didn't really make it, and some I have redesigned and changed. I really love like changing things up here. I do have some new plants here that I've got not long ago. And of course I'm going to introduce you to all these beautiful plants. So I can definitely say that waking up to this beautiful space every morning and seeing the sun inside with my beautiful sun catchers, it's a really magical space to me. And if you want something similar in your home, I'm gonna talk a little about how I design a space with plants, taking into account the light conditions, which I believe is one of the most important things when you design with plants. But also I'm gonna talk about how I choose my plants, how I choose the combination between plants, and how I choose which plants and in what order I'm gonna put them on a space like a shelfie, so it will look great. I have some really simple tips I think you're gonna love. So I think we're gonna start talking about some of the plants in this beautiful space, and then we're gonna move on to talking a little about how to style a space like this. So I think I'm gonna start from the plant that has been here with me from the beginning, and that's my beautiful Monstera. I think I have it for more than 5 years. I got it before we moved to this apartment, so she moved with me. Recently I've took a cutting from her of 2 leaves that I'm planning on growing in water. What can I say about this beauty? It's such an easy and low maintenance plant that I believe every parent needs in their space. I feel like Monsteras can be the perfect statement plant in your home if you don't want to have a full jungle like me. If you have a space for a Monstera, you're gonna enjoy it so much. So the biggest problem with Monsteras is that they are a thrips magnet. I even see one over here right now, which is so annoying. So I water this beauty when the soil is totally dry. As you can see, she gets some direct morning sunlight in spring and summer, the 2 seasons that we have some direct sunlight in here. And I believe she has been enjoying it so much. And I can't really see my jungle without a Monstera in it. I have this one in soil, and I have another one in soil, pretty far from the east-facing window in here, but it has been also growing pretty well. And I have now, since I've took a cutting from this beauty, I have now 2 cuttings in water also, and I really feel like it's a must for every jungle. Moving on to the plant that I believe is the one that gives this space the most beautiful jungle vibe, and that's my beautiful bird of paradise. So I brought this beauty inside from the balcony, I believe like 3 or 4 months ago, and all thanks to Glowrium, who reached out to me and asked me if I want to try one of their grow lights. So the whole winter time, this beauty had some grow light close to her, and at some point when the sun came back inside, I moved the grow light to a different plant. I'm going to show you later. I always dreamed of growing a bird of paradise inside, and I'm so happy I was able to do it. I believe it's pretty happy. It has been growing this beautiful huge leaf for a while. I think it's pretty much stuck in there, so I was thinking of like helping it unravel with some like damp cloth. I'm not sure I'm gonna do it. I believe I'm gonna give it a few more days, but it's usually leaves of a bird of paradise are pretty slow in unraveling. I also growing another one in our building outside that it also usually takes like a month for the leaf to like grow and unravel. So let me know what you think, if I should help it unravel, because I'm so excited about this new beautiful leaf. So I believe that a bird of paradise, it does need some direct sunlight to be happy. I believe it needs like at least 2 hours of direct sunlight, and that's kind of what she's getting here right now. I've also had it for, I believe, like 3 years, 3 or 4 years. Of course, I brought it home as a smaller plant, and if you have a sunny space in your home, I believe you're gonna enjoy this plant so much. Of course, if you like the jungle vibe. For me, the jungle vibe is like the best vibe ever to have in your home. So I definitely love having growing big plants in my space. Okay, so let's continue talking a little about the plants in this beautiful green corner. Here I have two small plants. One of them is some cuttings that I took a few days ago from my begonia double dot, and this is a string of hearts that I grew from some rhizomes, which is really exciting. I'm definitely gonna share this journey on my Instagram. Here I have my beautiful crimson princess that I got a few months ago. I used to have here the most beautiful Hoya carnosa that had such a bad mealybugs infestation that I tried to fight for some time, and then I just decided to give up and I threw it away. But the most smart thing that I did with the Hoya I've had, I took some cuttings. So I had to throw out the mother plant because it had a really bad infestation, but I do have two cuttings that have left from her. I have a small one that's growing there in water, and I have a bigger one that is already in soil. I was growing it in water, and then I moved it to soil, and it grows in our bedroom. I was really heartbroken because I love that Hoya so much, but I'm really happy that I have a few cuttings that I haven't lost the plant completely. So definitely take cuttings from plants that you love. Okay, moving on to some plants in this area. Here I have three plants that I really love. I have my beautiful, what's its name? It's Prince of Orange. I think it's a Prince of Orange, if I'm not mistaken, although his leaves are pretty pinkish, so I'm not sure, but it's definitely a philodendron. So I recently have moved this beautiful plant from water to soil. Looks pretty nice. It has this new beautiful leaf coming, which is really exciting. And in general, it's such a beautiful plant. I believe it will definitely enjoy some direct sunlight in the morning or evening if you have a west facing window. I believe it's not going to enjoy the harsh sun of the afternoon, so if you have a space with some gentle sunlight, it will be perfect for him. If you don't, I think it's gonna do great in bright indirect light also. So I really recommend this one. It's pretty easy philodendron, no like browning of the tips. It's a really cute one. Okay, moving on to one of my favorite plants. I do need to trim it a little and get rid of some older leaves, but since I got this beautiful begonia, I have been so in love with it. I really love how the new leaves come out looking pretty funny and then turn to these beautiful leaves. I do need to trim it a little. As you can see, it does need some extra love. I am gonna take care of her soon. So since I've got this begonia and really fell in love with it, I wanted another one, and I kind of don't really like other varieties, but then I saw a double dot begonia and it was like love from first sight. So I have one. I showed you the cuttings here, and I have been growing it in our bedroom, and it looks so beautiful. I'm really excited to see some blooms on this one. So I water it when the soil is almost dried. At least that's what I try to do. It's growing in a terracotta pot, so it's drying out pretty fast. I fertilize it once in a while, like once in a month, maybe a little bit more. And it also gets some direct sunlight in the morning, which I believe she really, really loves. If you have some other interesting begonia varieties, definitely let me know, because it's kind of opened up this whole like new world for me of begonias. But I don't know, I haven't seen anything that I really liked in the local nurseries. So if you have some other really interesting looking begonias, definitely let me know in the comments. Here I have my beautiful Rafi that unfortunately has some thrips right now. I just showered it and watered it yesterday. It has grown these beautiful long vines. This is a plant that you're gonna love growing. It's so low maintenance, and I water it when the soil is totally dry. I think it loves bright indirect light. It does get some direct morning sunlight here and bright indirect light for the rest of the day, and it has been growing really great. I really love this plant. Every time I'll need to water it, I'm gonna take it to shower, since I haven't found any better way to get rid of thrips. I just shower my plants and hope for the best, since like neem oil and other stuff haven't really worked for me. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna hope for the best. I think I'm gonna take a cutting from it, just, you know, to be safe. Okay, moving on, let's talk about some plants on my shelfies. So I have these cute pothos here. Here it is. And this pothos is definitely proof that pothos is not going to be happy in low light conditions. When I've had it in low light conditions, it wasn't growing whatsoever. Now it pushes new leaves constantly, which makes me so happy, and you can definitely see the difference. These are the leaves that were from the time it used to live in in low light conditions, and these are the leaves that it's pushing out right now in the bright indirect light. So I believe it's a really big difference for a pothos. I know if you're gonna read about it online, it is gonna say that it can be a low light plant, but I really don't recommend it. Try to grow your pothos in medium to bright indirect light. I would definitely choose a spot with some bright indirect light. I fertilize it about once a month. And as I said, it gets some bright indirect light for most of the day, and it has been pretty happy. Okay, moving on to some of my Syngoniums. So I have here 3 Syngoniums. I have one that is not variegated. This one that is currently growing 2 beautiful new leaves, which is so exciting. I've added the moss ball. I'm not sure about, I believe like 6 months ago, maybe a little bit less, and it has been pretty happy. So Syngonium is a also pretty low maintenance plant. You can definitely forget to water it, and it will for sure continue living his happy life. But I do water it when the soil is totally dry. I fertilize it. It is a pretty fast grower. So I do fertilize it about twice a month. I do have to say that this Syngonium is definitely gonna be okay in also medium light conditions. I believe that's what the plants in these shelves have. They have like some really bright indirect light in the morning. For the rest of the day, they have like medium to bright indirect light. And I'm really excited about this new beautiful growth. I really love the shape of these leaves, and it's definitely, if you're just starting out, just pick a Syngonium. They are such an easy plants. Okay, moving on to, okay, let's talk about this cutting. This is a Syngonium albo that I've had in water for a while. I just changed the water a few days ago, and I really have to show you the length of this root system. So beautiful. So I've took this cutting from a Syngonium albo that I have been growing in my bedroom. As you can see, the variegation is so beautiful. The one I have in my bedroom has a little bit more bright light than here, and it does get some direct sunlight in the morning, since the windows there are also mostly east-facing windows. This plant is also so easy, so fun to grow in water or in soil. I do have to say that since it has this beautiful variegation, it will need a little bit more light than this Syngonium. Okay, moving on to this Heartly philodendron. Okay, I really need your help here. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong with this philodendron, but I don't know, maybe it's a really slow grower and I'm like expecting too much from it, but I don't know. This is not my first time trying to grow a Heartly philodendron, and I just feel like it's not really growing. It looks like there's so much new growth points, but the leaves are pretty small. So I'm kind of not sure what I'm doing wrong. I usually water it when the soil is totally dry. I think maybe that's the problem. So definitely let me know how you care for your Heartly philodendron. I kind of want it to grow to a full big plant, and I'm not sure how to help it do it. I believe that the light conditions are pretty great for this plant here, but maybe the watering part, I'm not sure. I have a cutting from it over here on this shelfie. Which also hasn't been, it like really grew this beautiful root system. I know it has this cute, I took this out, it was also inside the vase. This part grew inside, and I see there are some more vines that I need to release to the outside world. So as you can see, the roots are beautiful, some new growth. Okay, this one looks much better than the one in soil. Maybe I just need to move them to water. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm gonna talk a little about this cute little addition. Just got this pot not long ago and added some cuttings from my string of hearts. So cute, it swings, and I believe it adds such a cute touch to it. So I've had these cuttings in water for a while, and I thought it would be such a beautiful combo with this cute swinging pot. And I really believe that a string of hearts needs some direct sunlight if you don't want to lose the beautiful variegation on its leaves. I am growing one in a bright indirect light in our bedroom. It looks pretty good, but it has much smaller leaves than this one. You know what? I have to show you the mother of the cuttings that I decided to start over with, that has been growing on our balcony in a really bright indirect light, and it looks so beautiful. I have to show you. Okay, check out this beautiful plant. So I believe that with time, the string of hearts starts to be pretty bold on top. So what I did, first of all, I took a lot of cuttings from it, but before I took the bold vines and pinned them inside the soil. I'm not sure if you can see. I just pinned them to the soil, and this is how it looks right now. I'm really excited about it growing some long vines, and the variegation is really beautiful since I have it in a bright indirect light, and I'm really happy about this plant because it looked pretty bad. Okay, so moving on, as I said, this is a Syngonium, the same one that I have over here. Here I have a Glowrium that suddenly decided to bloom. Check out what is starting to look like some blooms. So exciting. So I was kind of thinking that the light conditions in this area are not like the best for her. and then she suddenly decided to bloom. It hasn't really pushed any leaves in the like early springtime, but since it's blooming right now, I believe it's pretty happy. So I water it when the soil is totally dry. I have it in a nursery pot inside a terracotta. I fertilize it about once a month. It's not a fast grower at all. So if you have a space with like bright indirect light, you can definitely grow a plant like this. I think the name is the variety is a what was it? First diamond, something with diamond. Yeah, so cute. Okay, here I have my cute fern. Ferns are not the easiest plants to care for because you kind of always need to be like on top of their soil condition. They don't really like to be dried out. I've had it in a pretty low light conditions and it lost a lot of leaves. Then I moved it over here where it gets some bright indirect light for most of the day. It does get some gentle morning sunlight, and if you're not sure if your fern is happy, then look closer, and if you see these cute leaves, that means it has some new growth. So this one looks pretty happy. Of course, I would want it to be much fuller, but if you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm not like the best plant parent when it comes to watering on time, but I have been really trying and I'm really happy about the new growth here. So I usually check the weight of the pot to see if it needs some water or just checking the soil with my finger. I do really enjoy watering from like combining top and bottom watering. I think it's the best for plants that really love their soil to stay moist. And that's it. I really love ferns, but if you're just starting out, ferns are definitely not the easiest plants to care for. On the other hand, usually when we start out just growing plants, we do tend to give them too much love by watering them too much. Maybe it is a great plant for somebody who's just starting out. I'm not sure. You just try different stuff and see what works for you. Okay, moving on to this area where I have like 3 more plants to show you, and then we're gonna move on to talking a little about how to style a wall like this. So here I have my beautiful Calathea rattlesnake, and I do have to say that I think I kind of figure out this plant. So it has these 2 new beautiful leaves, this one and this one, and I did see some more new leaves coming, so that's really exciting. So I believe that from most Calatheas, the rattlesnake is a pretty easy one. I can say that it's in perfect condition. It does have some pretty sad leaves, and I believe that it's because it doesn't have enough humidity. But except from that, I believe I kind of figured it out. So I water it with some filtered water. I don't water it with tap water at all. And since I've started giving it some more light from the grow light that I have here, it grew these 2 beautiful new leaves, and there's some more on the way. So I feel like the Calathea definitely needs a really bright spot in your home, the closest that you have to your windows. I know that Calatheas are such a beautiful plants, and trust me, I also can't say no to them when I go plant shopping, but most of my Calatheas, like in the last 6 months, I've killed 2 Calatheas, and one is almost dead, unfortunately. So if you really want a calathea in your home and you're not sure how to care for it, definitely start from the rattlesnake. Just remember to always water it with some filtered water and give it as much bright indirect light as you need. It's not gonna be happy in kind of like medium light conditions. It will need a lot of light. I have another calathea that I have been growing in water, my Makoyana, that surprised me so much. I really have to show you that plant. Let me go get it. So this is the reason I said that it really surprised me. So since it has been growing in water, it has been really happy. In soil it was pretty sad, and you can see these are all her older leaves that I'm not sure, I might get rid of them, I'm not sure, but check out the old it kind of grew a totally new plant with smaller leaves, and check out how much new growth it still has. There's one over here that's coming, there's one over here, and check out those, a beautiful new root system. I'm kind of not sure why are the leaves so small. So this one I moved to water also because it had some thrips. Since moving it to water, I haven't seen any thrips on it, but it looks like maybe I figured out calatheas. I'm not sure. Like, should we all just move our calatheas to water and enjoy such a beautiful growth? I don't know. So since it has been happy in water, I'm not gonna move it right now to soil, that's for sure. Here I also add only filtered or distilled water, and this one makes me so happy. Just always pushes new leaves, and I think at some point I might like move it to a different maybe vase and just cut off all those older leaves that don't look the healthiest. And I'm not sure, let me know what you think. Have you ever tried to grow your calatheas in water? If so, let me know how it goes. Okay, so here I have this cute rocking pot that I really enjoy. I have some begonia maculata cuttings in it. I've had another cutting here of the begonia maculata that hasn't made it, but so cute, and I feel like something new is coming here. So yeah, here I have my beautiful Glowrium that is unfortunately struggling with some mealies right now. When I got it, it was much smaller plant, and when I got it, it had some mealybugs, and we did win that battle. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna win this battle as well. I'm just gonna use some alcohol. Just gonna clean it, shower it, and hope for the best. Here I have the grow light I told you about. So I turn it, I believe, for about like 8 hours a day usually. So I give it a little to the, oh my god, to the calathea, then I move it over here to the begonia and the fern, and then I give some more light to the Glowrium that, as you can see, is working on a new leaf. So the last plant in this space, in this green beautiful wall that I wanted to show you, is my beautiful pothos that I have been growing in water for 1.5 years, and I just recently moved it to soil because, well, it started looking pretty bad. It started growing these like yellowish, really weak leaves, and I did move it about like a week ago, and I'm still kind of not sure about this transition. As you can see, she's starting to lose some older leaves, which is fine, but I really hope that transition goes well and that this pothos will continue being happy as it was before. I took a lot of cuttings from this pothos already. It has some really long, beautiful vines. As you can see, some of the older leaves don't look as good. That's the reason I decided to move it to soil, and I don't know, I'll give you an update when I'll know more. I'm gonna get rid of all these yellowing leaves, and yeah, I really hope for the best for this beautiful plant. Now let's talk a little about how to style a green wall like this. The most important thing, I believe, when you style a space is to understand the light conditions. When you understand the light conditions in your space, then you can know what plants you can grow in that space. So since I have here a really big east-facing window, most of the plants here get some direct sunlight, especially in this green corner. So since I have some plants that need some direct sunlight here, like the bird of paradise, I've placed the bird of paradise as close to the window as possible. Also, like the begonia maculata and the philodendron, that will definitely enjoy some morning sunlight, so I place them as well as close to the east-facing window as possible. As we move farther from the window, I have some plants that don't need any direct sunlight, since the shelves, the wooden shelves I have here, get mostly bright indirect light to medium light as the sun goes away in the middle of the day. So I choose plants that will enjoy these conditions, like the pothos, like the Aglaonema and the Syngonium. Of course, you can always use some grow lights like I do. When I post some like reels or stories on my Instagram, I usually get asked like, where are the grow lights? And since again we have this big east-facing window, for years I didn't have any grow lights here. If you move farther from the window, you can always add some grow lights to give your plant some extra love, even the ones that do need more light than your space allows. If you want to style your space with plants from scratch, after realizing what light conditions you have there, I would definitely start with a big statement plant like the monstera or like the beautiful bird of paradise that I have here, if you have the space for it. Then I would move on to some interesting combinations of plants like I have here. So I have 3 plants here. And I still wanted, for example, the Rafi to get as much light as possible. So I've added a few books to put it a little bit higher. So if you have like, let's say, a big plant and 2 smaller plants, then definitely try to place the bigger plant behind the smaller plants. So all the plants will get some light for them to be happy and thrive. So if you don't have any issues with drilling your ceilings, then definitely try to add some hanging plants like this beautiful Hoya. And I've also added a small hook here to my wooden shelf that I believe adds really cute touch to the space. I've also, as you can see, added a few beautiful pictures here, some artwork from my friend. Okay, now let's talk a little about how to style shelfies, which is pretty much my favorite thing to do. I think like my #1 rule for any shelfie is to have a trailing plant on it. I believe it just makes everything come together. So as you can see, I have a few trailing plants here, and how I style them is I always try to add a plant that grows upwards with a trailing plant. So as I have here with the Syngonium and the Glowrium and some trailing plants. And here also I have a few plants that grow upwards, one on a moss ball and another trailing plant. Try to combine different shapes of leaves, different variegations, different colors that will make everything come together. Another really fun rule I have for my shelfies is to usually add a cutting, because I feel like a glass vase with some water and some root views will look so beautiful on every shelfie. So as you can see, I have here the Syngonium in water and the beautiful Hartley philodendron. So as you can probably see, I really enjoy styling my green spaces with natural materials like wood, like terracotta, and I really enjoy like the natural colors of the macrame hangers I have. I kind of let the plants shine in this space, but I do have to say that sometimes I do add different textures on my pots. I do have some like pinkish pots, and I really enjoy adding a touch of some books in my green spaces. I believe it looks so beautiful, especially if you have books with some like colorful books. It will add the most beautiful touch to your spaces. Also, don't forget to just let your personality shine when you style with plants. First of all, always remember it's really hard to go wrong with styling with plants, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna look great anyway. And also just try to think what is your style and what will look beautiful in your space. If you're into adding more color to your green spaces, then you can definitely do it with some colorful pots. I wouldn't go like to more than like 3 different colors, and I would think about like a color pattern that you like before you buy any new pots. I would definitely go to Pinterest for some inspiration. I always find some great inspiration there in styling with plants, and also if you want some really fun like color pattern, then you can definitely find it there. I forgot another really fun styling tip, and that's for the ones that have some direct sunlight in their green spaces. I think that adding some sun catchers will make your green space look so amazing. Of course, it's going to work only if you have some direct sunlight on the sun catchers. So I did find a few spots where I have some direct sunlight, and it really adds such a beautiful touch to my green wall. I am going to add some links in the description of this video for you to see the sun catchers that I'm using in my space. Okay, I believe this is it. I really enjoyed making this video and showing off my green beautiful wall. I hope you found some of my care tips and the styling tips helpful. Definitely let me know in the comments if you have some more like great tips on how to style your green spaces. If you're into watching another video, check out my last one of a plant care and chat, where I do some really relaxing plant care and talk a little about myself. If you like this video and you want more videos like this, then subscribe to my channel. And for some daily plant inspiration, check out my Instagram. I'll leave the link in the description of this video. So thank you so much for being here. As I always say, I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate your support and your kind comments. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you in my next video.